Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Married at First Sight and the ladies of Married at First Sight. And I know the title of this video is that these women will be forever single. And listen, if you have no desire to get married and you want to live a single child-free life, more power to you. But these women are on a show called Married at First Sight, and it is absolutely irking me that they are so bothered and focused on these men's physical and not even their like attractiveness, but rather their clothing, their swag. I'm like, how old are we that we care about swag? This is why you will be perpetually single. And this is why a lot of women are going to be perpetually single, even though they desire to be married. It's because they are focused on the wrong things. So I'm going to attempt to share the audio with you guys. And because I definitely cannot share the video, they are so tight on copyright over at TLC and Lifetime. So I'm going to share some of the audio so you guys can hear what these girls are saying. And then I'm going to comment and give you my 2 cents that you did not ask for. But honestly, it is so appalling. And I think just like reeks with immaturity when I hear women who say they want to get married, they're really focused on things that high school girls are focused on. Like, oh, is he cute? Is he going to look good in my pictures? And it's just overall like a lack of wisdom on like how mate selection actually works. So let's get started. This first couple is Madison. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Is it Alan? Oh my gosh, you guys. Ooh. Anyway, she is commenting on his clothing.
It's not crazy.
That's not as bad as I thought.
Right?
I was expecting like
inside out.
Yeah.
It's a little,
I was expecting like a floor length.
No. Well, I told you it was like a bomber jacket.
No, it's actually not that bad.
So, that's my version of tugging it up. That I still want the gold chain.
Tugging it out.
Yeah, I got the gold shoes.
You killed me. You literally killed me.
What?
Bug Life Alan. I have been anticipating some Alan uniqueness pieces, but so far I'm like surprised in a good way. It wasn't as scary as I was picturing.
So then we have this. I mean, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not as loud as like Vacation Alan.
Yeah,
for sure.
I used to have a little more hats, but I lost a lot of them.
Yeah, this one is wild.
I know. That's the least frequent one.
Alan's got Alan taste for sure. Like, there's definitely those pops of color and, uniqueness to him.
I mean, you could pull it off. I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
So Madison is like this fit girl. She goes to the gym. She wears like, very muted tones. She doesn't really, step too outside of a box. And the thing that bothered her the most about Alan on their vacation was actually his boxers, which to me is absolutely insane. Like, let's just pretend you do care about the way that a man looks and like looks in your photos. No one is going to see his boxers. Who cares what he wears to bed? That is absolutely crazy. But it was something that she was hyper focused on during the honeymoon. And I was like, okay, you just either you're very superficial and you just don't find him attractive, or you really, really are not, lack complete wisdom and don't understand that it doesn't matter what he wears to bed. No one's going to see that. And I quite frankly think that Alan dresses like a normal person. Like, he just dresses like your average, like, finance guy, with polos and, khakis and maybe some Cole Haan, sneakers. Like, he doesn't have anything too crazy. Now, yes, his hats are a little crazy. I think that Alan grew up around a more diverse crowd, if you catch my drift, than Madison. And so in different times, he'll wear different outfits to match that occasion. Alan used the word hoopty, which let me know everything I need to know about Alan, because I don't know, but that's like a Black word. I don't know. Maybe it isn't, maybe it's not. But like in our community, hoopty is something that I've heard all the time. And Madison's like, why is he saying hoopty? It's just so superficial, so stupid. Like, who cares if he's clearly does very well for himself. He drives a Jaguar. So he does very well for himself. It's very clear that he knows how to communicate and be professional. Who cares if he uses the term hoopty and you don't know what it means? But yet again, this is an example of how superficial that some of these women can be. And this is a show called Married at First Sight, meaning you are not supposed to take into account their physical appearance and make that the focus of your marriage. I had to let someone in my building. Instead, that's what these girls are doing. They're doing the exact opposite. And this lets me know that this is why they're single. She constantly talks about how much of a gym bro she's used to dating, and how she really wants Alan to like take care of himself. And you know what's crazy? Alan went to the gym 4 days in a row because she said she liked that. And to me, I'm like, okay, so what if he goes to the gym? Now what? What are you going to find that's wrong with him? Because the truth is like, it doesn't matter. You guys, now that I'm married, I've done the dating thing. You need to be attracted to your husband, but you probably don't want to marry the person that the only thing you find attractive about them is their face and their body. You really want to find someone who has a good, solid heart, who has solid values, who has solid integrity and morals. And that's why she came on this show. So it's really wild to me that she keeps talking about his clothes and his body as if those are things that you can't change. Like, so when I was dating, me and my friends had this phrase, oh, we can fix that. Like, there are things you can fix. I can change the way you dress if I really want to. You guys, to be honest, I don't really care how my husband dresses. He doesn't dress like a slob. That's not something that bothers me. Are you a hard worker? Do you take care of me? Do you have integrity? Do you take care of yourself? Are you working to be a better person? You know, I'm a Christian, so do you value your relationship with God? Like, those are things that matter. Everything else can be fixed, quite frankly. But these girls, this is why they're single. Camille and Thomas. And this one bothered me the most, you guys. I can't stand it. Let's listen.
Really fit into different situations. Whereas like I got really blessed with that like my high school was just a big melting pot, and there's so diverse. So I think that culturally, at least for me, like that is like just something that I think that we're different on.
I understand, we do have a different upbringing as far as that goes. So I want to, learn more stuff about how she grew up, and as we grow together and we get to know each other, those are things we can share with each other and learn from each other's differences, because that's something that's important to me.
It's been that kind of wrestling with the surface level connection, but also really watering and growing that deeper connection, which I've been enjoying, because that's really what I've been focusing on and trying to focus on. We also we do kiss, we hold hands, we cuddle at night and
kiss on the cheek or the
no, on the lips.
Really?
Yeah. So it's definitely especially highs and buys and things like that.
Right.
So I feel the seed is there.
Okay.
And I want to make sure I lean into that too, because it's also very safe to shy away, especially for me.
Yeah, and that's what we want to avoid. What are some of the hindrances, do you think, specific things that could help you to bridge that gap?
Listen.
I would probably say what's missing is a little smoothness and the swag factor.
This is where I absolutely lost it. So Camille is biracial, and so is Thomas. Camille grew up around more of a Black community, and Thomas did not. And she's low-key attacks his Blackness. And this is really bothersome to me, because anti-intellectualism and anti-professionalism in the Black community is rampant. And I know some of you guys are gonna be mad at me for saying this, but he doesn't have swag. He's not smooth. Okay, so you wanted to date a thug, and that's why you're still single. You wanted someone who acts, and you wanted a professional by day and a thug at night. And I'm sorry, but a thug is always a thug. And that's what she wanted. He doesn't have swag. Are you kidding me? At 35 years old, you want swag over the fact that Thomas is really invested in sharing and being vulnerable with her. Thomas is really invested in supporting her. He's really invested in being a good husband. That is hard to find. Never mind the fact that Thomas is very attractive. He doesn't dress like a street. He doesn't wear street clothes very much. He wears more of it's almost like professional, country club. She comments on his color coordination at one point. And I'm just thinking, this is part of the problem. Number one, as I said with as I said with, what's the other girl's name? Madison, you know, you can change the way someone dresses if you really want to. Like, men are very open to changing the way they dress. Swag, do you guys want to know a secret about swag that I learned that I will never unhear? A lot of men have swag because they're sleeping around with a lot of women and they're playing a lot of women. Is that what you really want? Yes, it is. Because that's what these women are used to. And the fact that oh my gosh, I felt so badly for him. I'm sure Thomas has grown up his whole life being told he's not black because he doesn't talk any Ebonics and he doesn't speak with an accent and he speaks eloquently and uses, multisyllabic words and speaks with diction and he speaks well and he doesn't, act a certain way. And how dare she contribute to the anti-intellectualism and the anti-professionalism in the Black community? This is why so many, like, you guys, I was a teacher for 12 years. One of the biggest barriers to Black students really overcoming, just the social stigma was their peers. Their peers telling them they're not Black because they're into anime. They're not Black because they're into science. They're not Black because they're not into Meg the Stallion. They're not Black because they're not into rap. They're not Black because they don't wear Jordans. Like, she was like, "Oh, you have Jordans in your closet. You fool. You fool." For you to think that that is what makes you Black this is like classic Black community BS. And I hate it. I hate this for Camille and I hate this for Thomas. I wish, because I actually quite like her as a person. I think she's the most mature out of all the women on this season. But I think she lacks wisdom and she lacks guidance. Like, some woman in her life needs to share with her the truth, which is, this is the best you're gonna get, girl. This is the best you're gonna get. You want to go back out there and go find a thug who is going to be a professional during the day and a thug at night. You know what he's going to also be doing? He's also going to be cheating on you. He's also going to be making sure that he looks good, not just for you, but for everyone else out on the streets. You fool. You fool.
Do you think he has swag?
It's the potential is there.
The potential is there.
Yeah. I think for me, something that could take a little back burner would maybe be some of the jokes.
Okay, and then she goes into, he jokes too much. But the main issue in this episode was how much these men don't match their physical ideal. And here's something, quiet as it's kept, that you guys may not, some people know this. Oops. Some people may know this, some people may not. But oftentimes when you're attracted to someone physically, you're attracted to your like wounded reciprocal. So the kinds of guys that these women are naturally attracted to are the kinds of guys that continue to hurt them, that continue to cheat on them, that continue for things to not work out. And so you actually have to change what you find attractive. The reality is that you find swag attractive, but swag also comes with cheating. So therefore you find cheating attractive. You find men who are ready to play the field, like men who have quote unquote swag often want to play the field. So you're saying you want to get married, but you're attracted to men who want to play the field. Your wounded self finds that attractive. Your wounded self finds men who are just gym bros. You guys remember I was in the fitness industry, right, for a really long time. And one thing I realized was that all these men who are like super like buff and they're really focused, they're just in the gym 6-7 days a week. Oftentimes those guys are the most insecure and they're the most disrespectful to women. They actually, they're the ones who are like, you need to keep your body in line. You need to, and they're like rushing their women to get fit after being pregnant. I mean, if that's your style, then go for it. But often those men you have to chase around to get married to. You have to chase them around for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then sometimes they'll marry you and sometimes they won't. And even if they do marry you, they're not always the ones who will stick around. They're not always the ones who are willing to grow. They're not always the ones who really want to be married. It's for some, some sort of visual or optic reason that they want to be married. It's not because they love you. So you really want to make sure that you are looking for someone that has the qualities that you want first. And I'm not saying that you can't find both. You can find both. But you cannot look at a guy and go, "Oh, he's cute. He has swag. I want to date him." Foolish. You fool. You should say, what are the qualities that I'm looking for? And I want to find that attractive more than I find someone's physical appearance attractive. Because, okay, the other thing I've said this before on my channel, is that a lot of times what people find married men attractive because they're married, because of how they treat their wives. So sometimes we're like, oh, I want that kind of man. But do you realize that maybe you find him more attractive because he's married? And if he was walking down the street, you probably wouldn't find him attractive. That's the way our psyche works as women. Is that he's more attractive because he's attached to someone, because he could get that kind of woman. So cautionary tale here, right? We absolutely should not be picking men based on whether they have swag or based on whether or not they have, we like their clothes. Stupid. By the way, you guys, with Alan and Madison, Alan rebuilt his whole kitchen. Like, we love a handyman over here. We love an ambitious man over here. And he started going to the gym for Madison because he wanted to be like, we love a growth king over here, right? We love that. Thomas was like, okay, Camille wants me to dress a little bit more, I don't know, street. Let me color coordinate everything. Let me make sure I got my blue jade, because he does have Jordans. Let me make sure I got my blue jades with my blue shirt and then my white, my white shorts. We love a man who is interested in being better. And these women are like, don't change for me. Oh, Jesus help them. Jesus help them. Jesus help these women. You know what I mean? Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this little recap of Married at First Sight and my thoughts. Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.